everyone. Good evening. Welcome to RSSDI Diabetes Bytes. Um, where's Dr. Faraz?
Oh, I'm here, Purvi. I'm here.
Hi, Faraz. It's
Hi,
time to
Purvi.
move.
Yeah. So that is why since morning it's been such a hectic and a tiring day. A lot of patients, a lot of other appointments. So now when you said I'm trying to move, yes.
No, it's actually time to get up and move. Now, don't give me excuses that your back is hurting or you're too busy to exercise or just get a little jog in the morning or evening.
अब पूर्वी आपने तो मेरे मन की बात ही कह दी. अब मैं और क्या कहूँ.
तो ये अपनी हर एक की रोजमर्रा जिंदगी के काफी सारे एक्सक्यूजेस हैं, बहाने हैं जो हमें एक्सरसाइज या फिजिकल एक्टिविटी से बहुत वंचित रखते हैं. और आज के एपिसोड में हम वो दूर करना चाहते हैं. So we have two very dynamic experts with us who are going to really make sure we get up and move, and they're going to give us lots of practical tips, demonstrations, as well as make us understand very simply the science of behind exercise. And may I welcome Dr. Ruchira Tendolkar as well as Ms. Manasa Machani.
Hi, everyone.
It's a great
Hello.
pleasure to be here.
So just to give introduce Dr. Ruchira Tendolkar, she is an MBBS CSCS, founder and program director of Creatinesis and the Akada. She's a qualified medical practitioner who's always focused on preventive health, and after choosing exercise science as a field of practice, very rare in India, she has adopted this dual role of exercise, of being an exercise physiology educator as well as a group exercise instructor, and has several certifications to her credit. She's been training herself constantly and updating her knowledge. In 2018, she founded Creatinesis, which is an educational venture that designs and provides affordable as well as accessible science and skill-based fitness workshops to the upcoming professionals in the field. And she also partnered with the Akada, which you can see in the background, a strength and conditioning space for every kind of exerciser, from the health seeker to the competitive athlete of all ages. So she's been constantly doing this, and she has been throughout the pandemic running online courses as well as workshops. So and she's an American Council on Exercise approved educator. So welcome, Ruchira, to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Purvi. It's a great pleasure to be here. This, of course, is a favorite topic.
Faraz, over to you.
Yeah. Let me again welcome Ruchira. A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. And let me welcome my good friend, I would say my colleague, Manasa Machani. I would say she's one and all. So when you are looking at that definition of health, so where you want the mental peace, you want the physical, you want the social, I think she's the definition. So she's a medical fitness, she's a yoga therapist, she's done her nutritionist course as well. She's the founder of Biome, that is a lifestyle center, a lovely lifestyle center. I still remember before the COVID time, she was doing a lot of work, and now she is doing a lot of work on health and lifestyle, especially in Hyderabad. And then she was a part of our center as well. A very, I would say, fit athlete and very good person, the right person. I think आज हमारे पास हैं जो हमें बिल्कुल ये बताएंगे कि अभी हमें उठकर क्या करना है.
Definitely. Thank you for the intro of that, Dr. Faraz. And I want to appreciate Dr. Faraz. We focus on lifestyle and we focus on healthy lifestyle. So even with medications, you also need to improve your body, with the diet and exercise. So even Dr. Faraz focusing on it, and that's the like minds. The like minds, what we have is when we connect.
Great to have you here. And without much ado, let's start with the first, that the question that we have on the floor. Dr. Ruchira, what is the difference between exercise and physical activity? बहुत बार ऐसे होता है कि मरीज आके बोलते हैं कि नहीं नहीं हम पूरा घर का काम खुद ही कर रहे हैं, तो अभी इसके अलावा एक्सरसाइज करने की क्या जरूरत है डॉक्टर साहब? If you can just highlight that the main difference between physical activity and exercise.
That's a very good question, Dr. Purvi. ये जो आपने एक्सपीरियंस किया है विद पेशेंट्स, जहाँ पे वो आके कहते हैं कि हम ऑलरेडी इतनी सारी एक्टिविटी कर रहे हैं, घर के सारे काम कर रहे हैं, तो इसके ऊपर और एक्सरसाइज क्या करें? We have faced the same thing here at the Akhada. In fact, have been facing it all these years at various institutions around the city, around the country, I should say. कि लोगों की ऐसी समझ है कि हम अगर हमारे दिन के काम कर रहे हैं, दिन के टास्क कर रहे हैं, तो उसी में हमारी सारी एनर्जी खर्च हो रही है एंड वी आर ऑलरेडी टायर्ड. अभी इसके आगे एक्सरसाइज करेंगे तो और भी थक जाएंगे. And this is the biggest thing that people need to understand कि exercise एक structured physical activity है जो एक particular goal के साथ की जाती है. And it is not only safe but it is effective to carry out. एक्सरसाइज इस तरीके से बनाया जाता है कि हर एक को जो उनके वीक लिंक्स है इन टर्म्स ऑफ मूवमेंट, उन वीक लिंक्स को वो स्ट्रेंथन करता है. तो यानी कि अगर हम एक्सरसाइज के इफेक्ट्स देखेंगे तो एक्सरसाइज का सबसे पहला इफेक्ट ये है कि वो हमारी क्षमता बढ़ाता है टू कैरी आउट एनी काइंड ऑफ वर्क, राइट. जो हमारी वर्क की कैपेसिटी है उसी को बढ़ा देता है, इम्प्रूव कर देता है. It improves our energy levels rather than taking away from our energy. हमारे muscular endurance को बढ़ाता है, muscular strength को बढ़ाता है, flexibility, mobility, इन चीज़ों को बढ़ाता है. तो उस एक घंटे के एक्सरसाइज की वजह से जो हमारे बाकी के 23 घंटे हैं, of course leaving aside the sleep and the recovery part, जो बाकी के घंटे हैं, we are actually functioning more effectively, more efficiently and more economically in those hours. And this is the biggest thing that exercise gives us. And I hope that everybody will understand this and get converted to this, to including exercise in their lifestyles.
Yeah. Very, very well said. I think, and I can see a live demonstration which is happening in the behind, and half of my mind is there only, trying to see what is exactly happening. I think we have the right thing. So, coming to you, Mansa, my question is, we all know, diet is a very integral part when it comes to a diabetic patient, when it comes to a non-diabetic patient. So we always, as a doctor, we give a lot of importance to the diet and physical activity. But I think more focus is on diet. So do you feel that exercise should be incorporated in these people? And I would say in everybody's life on a daily routine basis. What's your opinion on that?
Yes, thank you for that question, and really very important to know that even if you're eating a healthy food, your diet is to the point, to the mark, and still you need to exercise, because when you exercise, you actually stabilize your blood sugar levels. Even for a non-diabetic person, it's still important to exercise because you need to regularize your hormones. The hormones get activated, Doing a workout is because you activate your full body system, and you know that when you work out, your hormones get activated. And what is the job of the hormones is to balance and regularize your imbalances, the hormonal imbalances. So when you work out, you get a good regularization and balancing of your hormones, and then your blood sugar levels start to stabilize. Your blood sugar levels start to stabilize. And always, even when you're eating the right choice of foods, taking at least half an hour of a workout is really, really
Great, that's very well explained, Mansa. I'd like to pose the next question to Ruchira. What kind of exercise do you think that is good for the different age groups with diabetes?
So, when it comes to a disorder like diabetes, we are basically looking at, we need to be very clear about the purpose of exercise. So पहले जो मैंने कहा कि exercise एक generalized effect देता है body में in terms of actually helping to conserve energy. हमारे muscles को वो prepare करता है, functionally better करता है, उसके function को improve करता है. And as probably we, of course, we all know, and most people will be aware of this now, कि मसल्स के फंक्शन को जब हम इम्प्रूव करते हैं तो वन ऑफ द फंक्शंस इज इट्स एबिलिटी टू टेक इन ग्लूकोज फ्रॉम द ब्लड स्ट्रीम, right? And this is a function of muscles that joins together musculoskeletal health and metabolic health. तो इन दोनों को हम बहुत से बार अलग we differentiate between the two, अलग तरीके से देखते हैं. As you all know, in the medical field also, the experts who deal with muscular health and the experts who deal with metabolic health usually अलग होते हैं, same नहीं होते हैं. बट एक्सरसाइज इन दोनों चीजों को जोड़ता है. का मस्कुलर हेल्थ इज इंटिमेटली रिलेटेड विद मेटाबॉलिक हेल्थ. वो दोनों अलग चीजें है ही नहीं, वो एक ही चीज है. And when you train your muscles, it's not just about the size of the muscles. हम जब muscles के बारे में सोचते हैं, आमतौर पे जब हम muscular इस चीज इस शब्द को सुनते हैं, तो we are thinking of bodybuilders and we are thinking of those big bulky individuals. हम ये नहीं सोच रहे हैं कि मसल का बेसिक फंक्शन हमें मूवमेंट देना है, और उस मूवमेंट को हमें अपने आखिरी दम तक मेंटेन करना है, राइट? नन ऑफ अस वांट टू बी बेड रिडन, नन ऑफ अस वांट टू हैव पुअर मूवमेंट, नन ऑफ अस वांट टू बी डीकंडीशन. तो ये सारी चीजें अगर हमें नहीं चाहिए तो हमें अपने मसल्स को अच्छे तरीके से ट्रेंड रखना है, फंक्शनल रखना है. And this obviously means that we are looking at incorporating exercise through the ages. So बचपन से लेके बहुत ही सीनियर एज तक हमें ये ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, क्योंकि the primary reason is that one of the things exercise does for us is it simply replaces or it makes up for the lack of movement that we have in our daily lives. बहुत से बार लोग कहते हैं अरे हम जिम जाते हैं, हम 1 घंटा काम करते हैं, वहां पे 2 घंटे एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, एंड वो 1 घंटा और 2 घंटा, ट्रस्ट मी, आर merely just making up for the lack of movement that we have in our modern lifestyles, particularly जो हमारी urban lifestyle होती है, वो इतनी पुश बटन बन चुकी है कि बहुत ही कम मेहनत के साथ, बहुत ही कम एनर्जी एक्सपेंडिचर के साथ हमें सारी चीजें हमारे सामने मिल जाती है. एंड फिजियोलॉजिकली हमारी बॉडी अभी उस लेवल तक नहीं पहुंची है कि वी कैन डू अवे विथ मूवमेंट. हमें अच्छी हेल्थ मेंटेन करने के लिए वी नीड अ सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ मूवमेंट, और जब वो मूवमेंट हमें नहीं मिल रही है तो उसे रिप्लेस करना है विथ गुड अमाउंट्स ऑफ एक्सरसाइज. वो जिम में हो सकता है, आउटडोर्स हो सकता है, घर में हो सकता है, but some form of structured activity is required in order to replace that lack of movement. Therefore, exercise is for everybody and it will be there through the ages. Now, when it comes to diabetes and exercise, the primary role, of course, जो हम देख रहे हैं कि हमें insulin sensitivity को improve करना है. You want to have better control over blood glucose, and training the muscles in a functional way will go a long way towards that. तो हम हमेशा कहते हैं कि मसल्स हमारे बहुत ही अच्छे दोस्त हैं, and these are friends that we don't want to let go of till the end of our lives. हमें इन दोस्तों को बहुत करीब जकड़ के रखना है, अच्छी तरीके से इनके साथ फ्रेंडशिप डेवलप करनी है, because they're going to give us both. They're going to give us movement health, they're going to give us freedom of movement, independence to move, and they're going to give us good metabolic health, अच्छा glucose control etc. वो भी maintain करने में help करने वाली है. So when it comes to exercise ऐसा हो that it is first of all जो consistent हो पाए. We should not, we hear very often of people जो बहुत enthusiasm में आके जोरों शोरों से एक्सरसाइज स्टार्ट करते हैं, और अब 2 हफ्ते के बाद या 1 महीने के बाद पूछते हैं, एंड दे हैव ड्रॉप्ड आउट ऑफ द प्रोग्राम. The exercise has reduced or it has gone away altogether. So exercise का सबसे पहला रूल है, चाहे एज कुछ भी हो, is that it should be sustainable, it should be consistent. जब वो sustainable है तो that is half the battle won. वहाँ पे हम आधी लड़ाई जीत चुके हैं. Once that we know कि ये sustainable है, then we are looking at a certain kind of effectiveness that we want our exercise to bring us. यानी कि that it should challenge the body's functioning by about 5 to 10%. So this is what we try and explain to people जो सिर्फ morning walk करते हैं. So we have several clients or we have several patients who have been doing a morning walk for the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, sometimes even longer than that. And it is the same group of friends, it is the same route, it is the same time, it is the same post morning walk chai, it is the same gossip, right? And is it still a challenge? When they first started doing it, it was challenging and it created some amount of stimulus within the body, or it created a challenge in the body. हमें याद रखना है कि change चाहिए तो challenge चाहिए, but we are going to adapt to that challenge. और वो challenge को हमें बरकरार रखने के लिए we need different types या different intensities of exercise का, जो बहुत से बार पेशेंट्स में हम देखते हैं कि देयर प्रोग्राम्स लैक दिस. सो इट इज द सेम मूवमेंट जो वो बरसों के लिए कैरी आउट करते हैं. दैट मूवमेंट इज नाउ नो लॉन्गर चैलेंजिंग. इट इज फन, इट इज रिफ्रेशिंग, इट इज हैबिट फॉर्मिंग. तो कंसिस्टेंसी है लेकिन चैलेंज नहीं है. So a small amount of challenge needs to remain in movement, which is where the exercise professional comes in. एंड therefore एक अगर सिंपल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन हम देखेंगे एक्सरसाइज के लिए थ्रू दी एजेस, 1 कंसिस्टेंसी, 2 चैलेंज. दोनों होना चाहिए इन ऑर्डर टू गिव अस इफेक्टिवनेस नो मैटर व्हाट द एज ऑफ द एक्सरसाइजर इज, राइट? एंड द सेम वुड बी ट्रू फॉर ग्लूकोज कंट्रोल.
I love the 3 words: mobility, sustainability, and challenge.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I am also in that because walking करने से ज़्यादा मेरा गोल ये है कि walking के बाद मुझे चाय मिलेगी. So, as you
That's the next thing that starts with the C: consistency, challenge, and then chai.
yeah, so I think we all are into that as well. And then yes, I would definitely agree. If you want a change, you will have to challenge yourself. No doubts in that. So coming to you, Mansa, हमने ये सब बात की कि ये बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एक्सरसाइज. सो डेफिनेटली डायबिटिक पेशेंट्स को प्रिकॉशंस भी लेने होते हैं. जो नॉर्मल हेल्थी लोग को जो प्रिकॉशंस शायद कुछ कम लेने पड़े. तो आर देयर एनी स्पेसिफिक प्रिकॉशंस यू वुड एडवाइज फॉर अ डायबिटिक पेशेंट व्हेन दे आर डूइंग एनी फिजिकल एक्टिविटी और एक्सरसाइज?
Yes, Dr. Faraz. So when a diabetic person is trying to start to exercise, ये बहुत important है कि पहला start slow करें. It's बहुत लोग ऐसे रहते हैं कि मेरा blood sugar levels is increasing. मेरे स्टूडियो को आते हैं और बोलते हैं I want to start and I want to control the blood sugar. But I always tell them you need to start slow and give it a time. So start slow and go with a program. A program जैसे कि वो safe रहता है और it is good. And the interesting point of safe practices that we call is to have a program. Without a program, we cannot just do it. तो आप बिल्कुल ही कार्डियो नहीं कर सकते और बिल्कुल ही कंडीशनिंग नहीं कर सकते और जस्ट योगा. So you need to have a well-rounded exercise program. And the safe practices जैसे कि होता है कि आपको you should understand the body type and the sugar rise. See, the blood sugar levels can go low, right? So some people blood sugar levels go low, or you should see when their blood sugars are increasing, whether it's a diabetic type 1 or a type 2. You need to take a questionnaire or a list of understand what the doctor has prescribed and where are his highs and lows, where he's getting hyperglycemic or hypoglycemic. You need to take all the checklist and then you need to prescribe like a medication, also a program. And most of the diabetics know their lows. When they come to my center, I have this diabetic issue, I need to carry this and all. They tell me, I also tell them to keep hydrated and to keep those glucose water and all that. So even when they do the exercise, it's definitely very beneficial to do the exercises. But आपको guidelines लेना चाहिए, and that too with a certified instructor. आपको क्या workout routine करना पड़ेगा. how much of cardio you should do, how much of strength training you should do, what is the flexibility plays a very important role, and yoga is a really beautiful routine that they should incorporate. So, keeping in mind about all this, it becomes one safe practice to know the person and his highs and lows, and where he's able to suit a program. They will be very busy in life. They say, I cannot come in. So you should adjust to what suits the person. And then you have to give a program because he has to adapt to his lifestyle. And these are the some tips I can tell, that you should know the person's, the checklist, and give the guidelines appropriately.
Great. That's a great start from Mansa. Ruchira, would you like to add to that?
Yes, so definitely when it comes, to patients who are on treatment, so we always look at three cornerstones, So one is going to be the medical treatment that is going on. The second is the nutritional part of it. And the third is the movement part of it, or the exercise part of it. And a great coordination or a great communication between these three professionals is usually going to be really beneficial for the patient. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of that happening, in the field where there isn't that kind of a coordinated approach that is offered. But of course, with centers coming up like yours, which are able to address these issues for patients, आई थिंक ये पेशेंट के बेनिफिट में है अगर अच्छे प्रोफेशनल्स मिलते हैं जो कम्युनिकेट करेंगे एक दूसरे के साथ एंड दैट इट हेल्प्स टू गिव बेटर कंट्रोल ओवरऑल टू द पेशेंट और द क्लाइंट. Precautions in terms of diabetes that we look at is, like Mansa mentioned, that one must know the baseline blood glucose level. So particularly when a person is coming into exercise, say early in the morning. So the time of exercise will make a lot of difference to what kind of exercise can be prescribed. What we find in our practice is that, there are certain people who prefer to come early in the mornings. And the last meal that they have consumed has been a good 8, 10, sometimes even 12 hours prior. And the kind of exercise or the kind of energy levels that they have in the morning are very different from, say, what they would have at 4 p.m. in the afternoon or 5 p.m. In the evening. And getting a better understanding of this, because each one will have a customized lifestyle, each one will be on customized medication, customized stresses, जो हर एक के होते हैं, अलग अलग हो सकते हैं. So all of this put together, we need to have a 360-degree approach towards it, and a good amount of monitoring or observation. For example, यहाँ पे हमारे पास we do have some people who come into exercise who are required to carry out self-monitoring of blood glucose. So either before and after the exercise, or then once a week, or as deemed fit by their medical consultants and by the exercise professionals who are there on the floor, there will be some amount of self-monitoring of blood glucose that is advocated. Particularly for people who we know are, energy levels are not quite matching up to what is being anticipated or expected, or who are showing certain signs that come in. As Mansa rightly said, you need to be conservative about some of the exercise routines that some diabetics would follow, because it can cause a crash. It can cause sudden hypoglycemia to come in, or even rebound hyperglycemia coming in, post-exercise sessions. So keep being a little watchful about it. We always say that our job isn't over when the patient, when the exerciser is off the floor. Probably there might be sequelae, there might be things that would happen half an hour later when the person has reached home, 15 minutes later when the person is driving home in the car, sometimes 1 hour later, 2 hours later. So you still need to keep track of the 24-hour cycle. And that's the biggest precaution that you need to take when working with diabetics on the exercise floor. That you need to keep track of their 24-hour cycles and their energy levels. The rest, of course, the medical practitioners are there to guide them. And like I said, that good communication is essential if the patient has to be managed in the best possible way.
I think those were some brilliant tips by both of you, Mansa and Ruchira. I just want to add one thing, that sometimes with slightly elderly patients who are, starting to exercise afresh,
Yeah.
definitely a clearance from the medical practitioner again.
Oh, yes.
appreciated by both of you. And
Yeah.
maybe also baseline cardiovascular, evaluation would also be considered
Yeah,
necessary.
very well said, Ruchira.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it is required. That is very well
Yeah.
said.
Yes, so I think that
Absolutely.
was very well covered. Um, for us, you want to go next?
Yeah. 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 So if I ask unanimously in this world now, what do we all do not have is time.
Yeah.
So I think right from kids to the CEOs or to anybody you ask, we are running for time. I think we all are time bound now. So and it becomes very easy. See, it becomes very easy for all of us to keep the physical activity at the last and just play the lame game saying time nahi hai, kya karu? So Mansa, my two questions will be: how do you do about it? What do you talk to your patients or people about it? And then next, can you show us some exercises where people who are stick to their chairs, where they are working for long hours in the office, what are the few exercises, if you can demonstrate us, which will be helpful for them?
Okay, coming to the first point, people को time है रहता है बोलते हैं ना. So it's all about, you think it's time management. We need to focus on time management. It will not work. It will just not work. You should focus on life management. So when you think of time management, think of life management. What is a life? What is life without being healthy? There's no point. So it comes to a point that people are गेटिंग ओवर स्ट्रेस्ड. स्ट्रेस लेके और एक दूसरा दिन चलाना पड़ेगा और वो भी स्ट्रेस अक्यूमुलेशन होता है. So this aspect, the concept of time management, I don't have time, is just being carried away, taken it easy. But when you think, you're thinking of मेरे को time नहीं है, but how about think like मुझे life अच्छा lead करना पड़ेगा. And the common issues is that how do you fix मेरे को time नहीं है, I cannot get time and work out for workouts. आपको एक प्रैक्टिस रखना है, प्रिंसिपल रखना है, and some steps which will make you do workouts or come to your exercise regular routines is environment. How is your environment? The first thing is environment. Second one is your mindset. What is your mindset? If you're in a negative mindset, you will go in the negative direction. But if your mindset is very positive, you say you say that there is no time is already a negative mindset. But if you keep a positive mindset, you will say that this is my workout time. Mujhe chalna padega. I have to work out. And the third one is, it takes 21 days to make it a habit. वो motivation factor बिल्कुल काम नहीं करेगा. So you should have a habit. It's a ritual. So then I say the third point is habit. And I'll give you some tips. As soon as you wake up, you should have the things arranged in your close by section. Like you have somewhere, you kept your workout shoes, your dress. So because you already prepared last night, you can't wake up and prepare. You need to prepare it last night. You will never skip it. That's one very good thing. And how is your environment? When I say, if your environment is like you're feeling lazy, it will not help. You have to keep your environment very clean. You need to stick something motivative there. I need to get healthy, or I want to get my diabetes under control. Any motivating captions that you're putting in front of the walls, any motivating factors. How is your environment to make you get healthy? That is one thing. And आपको habit forming, you have to start with at least 10 days. See that you be a lead. You be a lead in your family, and if you want to get healthy, get the people in your family to become healthy, and it also brings a quality life that you're having with your family. These are some good tips I can give you, and it will definitely work out. If you have a mindset, you will definitely go for it. And these are some good tips I can share. Coming to your second question is, what are some exercises you can do when you're sitting at the desk for too long? You still got some time to do a full body workout. So focus on full body workout, like taking away the chair and coming to a not a hip distance level, but a shoulder distance level. So what happens when you do a shoulder distance level? You feel light and easy with the body. And try to take your hands up in the air. So when you take your hands up in the air, your armpits open up. Your armpits open up. The stress accumulates in our armpits. So when you take your hands up, you open up your armpits, you do this. You feel good. You're opening up your back. You're opening up your hands up. So there is an upper body movement here. Okay, you're getting it up, and your legs are strengthening. Your leg. The moment you stand, it's not stand here. It doesn't stand here. It doesn't strengthen here. It strengthens here. So moment you stand, you stay here, and you keep your hands just side of your ears. It's a full body strengthening and stabilizing. You can do this because you're at an office desk or at your work. Just try to do this and stay here. Okay. And when you want to come forward, try to do a forward like this. And try to do a forward bend like this because you're trying to stretch your back and you're coming forward. Most people cannot touch down and reach down, but at least take your blood sugar levels will also balance on here. You want to do this. This is you can do it 5 times. 1 and exhale. Now I'm covering for someone who is elderly, who's having low, and you want to just do a light movements. So this is actually good to do this and coming and doing an exhale forward down. You strengthen your quads, you strengthen your knees, you also get a back activation, you're also doing a full workout. I don't think that you can do a cardio in when you're at a workout phase, you cannot do cardio. So the second one is to stimulate your pancreas system. You want to go with this and try to do a stretch forward. So just keeping like this and doing, pressing your knees to your abdomen, and that's the second good workout which I can tell you. And the third one is to actually do breathings. So you want to go and sit on your chair. Breathing plays a very important role because it releases the stress, and it's also very good for the mind. And you're actually improving your oxygen levels. The root cause of many diseases is insufficient cell oxygenation to your body. Even if you want to go for a thyroid check, insulin check, cholesterol check, the root cause is oxygen. So it helps to increase your oxygen levels. You may want to keep your hands to the back of the head, and this opens your chest. This opens your chest, and you may want to also activate your back. So I'm doing a multi-activation of your body. And then you want to do a head up. So most of the time you're looking at the screen and your chin is down. You're not actually taking a head up, and you go off the screen, and you may want to see some pleasant thing or something like which grounds you there. And just keep it here, keeping your feet down and here, and do a inhale and exhale. And exhale out through the mouth like a blow. Because it activates your diaphragm, it activates your pancreas. So inhale through the nose and exhale like a blow or a first with breath. You can do this 10 times. So these are some 3 exercise moves that I can give Dr. Faraz.
That was excellent, Mansa. Because these were so simple and doable. I felt better just by looking at you, so I'm definitely going to try them and definitely show them to my patients also, the corporate ones especially, who sit for hours together at a stretch without getting up. And yes, आपने बहुत सही बात बताई है कि वक्त की कमी सभी लोग बोलते हैं, जो कोई भी काम करते हो वो सभी वही बोलते हैं कि वक्त नहीं है, पर अच्छी एक जिंदगी गुजारने के लिए वक्त निकालना पड़ता है, या even at workplace we can incorporate these simple exercises. So Dr. Ruchira, would you like to demonstrate some simple routine exercise that we all can also incorporate, not just at workplace but in our daily routines?
Otherwise also. Absolutely. You said something very important there, Purvi, that, it is so important to take breaks from prolonged sitting. There is this saying that has been going around, lately, which is sitting is the new smoking, and that there is probably very little that does as much harm to us as sitting. इतना innocuous लगता है, ऐसे लगता है कि अरे बैठने में क्या हर्ज है, कुछ कर नहीं रहे हैं, बुरी कुछ कोई चीज नहीं है. But trust me, sitting is one of the worst things that we can do when it goes on for a prolonged period of time. Unfortunately, lifestyles ऐसे हो गए हैं कि हम बैठ के खाना खाते हैं, बैठ के काम करते हैं, बैठ के ट्रैवल करते हैं, बैठ के टीवी देखते हैं. इनफैक्ट बैठ के मैं लाइव भी ये कर रही हूँ. So there is, so much of sitting that happens in our day-to-day lives कि वो हमारा dominant position या posture बन चुका है. And we often say this here at the Akhada, and we teach it through Kriya as well, that the muscle that is truly well developed for us, जो हमें human बनाता है, is actually the glutes, because that gives us that upright posture, and it's a huge muscle that accounts for a lot of metabolic health as well, funnily enough. Because इतना बड़ा muscle mass है, इतनी ज़्यादा strength capacity है उसकी, and the way the way the glutes function will determine how the rest of the body's positioning is going to be. So it works upwards on the chain of joints and it works downwards on the chain of joints. So we will look at some exercises now, simple ones again, जो घर पे भी किए जा सकते हैं. I'll give you the basis of these exercises. They are based on primal patterns. So ऐसे कहा जाता है कि जो हम सारे movements day to day करते हैं, if we have to classify them and if we have to break them down, so they are an amalgamation, they are a combination of certain very baseline movements. ये baseline movements है bend and lift, okay, a squat pattern, a push pattern, a pull pattern, a rotate pattern, and a single leg pattern जिसमें walking, climbing steps, etc. वो सारी चीजें आती है. So there are exercises for each of these
Just to
patterns. In fact,
interrupt you,
yeah,
Ruchira.
yeah,
So
sorry.
basically glutes, ये मसल्स जो डॉक्टर रुचिरा बता रही है आपको,
Yeah,
ये है आपकी बटक्स के मसल्स. इट्स अ
yeah.
लार्ज ग्रुप ऑफ मसल्स जो वो जिनके बारे में बता रही है. एंड वेरी सून शी विल आल्सो डेमोन्स्ट्रेट what exercises she is explaining. Go ahead, Ruchira.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so let's look at the basic bend and lift pattern. Bend and lift pattern will be the pattern जो हम use करते हैं in case we need to
Yes, we need
lift
to lift
anything from the
anything from
floor,
the floor.
right? So ये होता है bend and lift pattern. Let me see if I'm able to show it. If not, I'll get Shailesh to demonstrate it in the background. Yeah.
We can see you
So
all
when
right.
yeah, all right, okay. So when you are shifting the hips back and we're going down, yeah, this is known as a hip hinge. It's the basis of a bend and lift pattern. In fact, we make sure that everybody we come across ये ठीक तरीके से सीखता है, for the simple reason that this is also related to lower back health. One can't have a healthy lifting pattern or a healthy spine अगर ये hinging pattern ठीक से नहीं आता है. If I cannot move my butt backwards and come into this position, I will actually end up rounding from the spine and going forward, which is way worse for spinal mechanics, right? So this could be the bend and lift pattern that we're looking at. Now, what I'm picking from the floor could be anything. It could be a weight of 2 kilos. It could be a weight of 5 kilos, 10 kilos, or 100 kilos. But I would be still picking it in the same pattern. इस exercise को जब हम floor पे करते हैं, barbells के साथ करते हैं या कोई exercise equipment के साथ करते हैं, तो we refer to it as the deadlift. But जब हम घर पे करते हैं, तो we just call it picking things from the floor. In fact, अगर हम बच्चों को भी उठाएंगे, तो इस pattern में उठाएंगे. So that's your bend and lift pattern. It can be repeated in repetitions of 10, यानी 10 बार हम इसे करेंगे और इसको एक या दो सेट्स में करेंगे, यानी हर सेट में 10 repetitions होंगे, बीच में 1 मिनट का ब्रेक होगा, and then we'd repeat it again. क्या चीजें हम उठा सकते हैं from the floor? Like I said, it could be a simple bag, a backpack that is packed with some weight that we would find around the house. It could be books, it could be groceries, कोई भी चीज हो सकती है. Groceries is usually a great idea because हमें पता होता है कि वो कितने kilograms का है, कि 1 kilo, 2 kilo, whatever that we are using as packets in the house, वो हम pack कर सकते हैं into a bag or into a backpack like this, and it can be lifted up from the floor in this manner. आप देखोगे कि जब मैं इसको उठा रही हूँ, तो ये मेरे पैरों के बिल्कुल करीब है. अगर ये मेरे पैरों से दूर चला जाता है, तो this is one of the bad things that I would do for my back. So I need to make sure कि जो वजन मैं उठा रही हूँ वो मेरे पैरों के बीच में है, and that I am lifting it up really close to the legs. Yeah? So this would be the pattern in which I'm lifting. पीठ का पोजीशन नोट करना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि यहाँ पे इस तरीके का राउंडिंग ना हो जाए. इट नीड्स टू बी इन दिस पैटर्न. या सो दिस वुड बी एक्सरसाइज नंबर 1 जिसे हम बेंड एंड लिफ्ट पैटर्न कहते हैं. The second exercise that we would look at would be a squat. Yeah. Now I'll show you what a squat would be like when done on the floor. So this is a squat pattern, right? Sideways. This is a squat pattern. तो आप देखोगे कि स्क्वाट पैटर्न में मैं जमीन के तरफ जा रही हूँ जैसे कि जमीन पे बैठने वाली हूँ. As if I am going to sit down on the chair. And a squat pattern is exactly what we use जब हम कुर्सियों में बैठते हैं, सोफा में बैठते हैं या नीचे जमीन पे बैठते हैं और वहां से उठते हैं. Right? So a squat pattern is the second and a very essential movement for people to retain. यानी हमें इस movement को हमारे साथ रखना है till we are really really old, right? Because it's what gets us in and out of chairs and sofas and beds, right? बहुत सारे muscles इसमें use होते हैं, so it's a great exercise from the point of view of training muscles in a functional manner. Right? So that's the squat pattern. Squat pattern can be done with body weight because हर time जब हम नीचे जा रहे हैं और ऊपर आ रहे हैं तो that's your entire body weight जिसे ऊपर उठाया जा रहा है. And the heavier the person is, the more the effort that's going to be required to come out of that squat. कितना squat होना चाहिए? For people who are experiencing knee pain or knee discomfort of any kind, they can even squat up to just 90 degrees and come up. So that would be like sitting on a chair and getting out of a chair, which is more than enough as a depth. जिन लोगों को knee discomfort नहीं है and they have clearance from their physicians, if they are a little older, then they can try going down all the way. वो completely नीचे बैठ के भी ऊपर आ सकते हैं. That's considered as even better because उसमें और भी ज़्यादा musculature use होगा. So these are two very basic patterns जिसमें lots of muscles are used. So a great way to create the exercise challenge within the body. Once again for the squat pattern, 10 repetitions और 2 sets करेंगे. बीच में 1 मिनट का ब्रेक लेंगे. अगर ज़्यादा breathlessness हो तो 2 मिनट का ब्रेक लेंगे. Right? And these are two basic exercises that we would like. I'll also show you an upper body exercise जो कि बहुत अच्छा है हमारे लिए. Okay, and that would be a simple pull pattern. Now pull pattern का मतलब है हम किसी चीज को अपनी तरफ खींचे, या किसी चीज को अपनी तरफ खींचे. Now the reason why a pull pattern is important is because it trains muscles that are there behind the body. Right? And training muscles behind the body is essential because हम आगे की तरफ already काफी सारे movements करते हैं. अगर दरवाजा खोलना हो, बंद करना हो, stuff that we hold, stuff that we see, सारा का सारा हमारे front में होता है. तो आगे के muscles को थोड़ा सा conditioning always रहता है. लेकिन जो muscles हमारे पीछे है, उन्हें specifically train करना पड़ता है. So the pull pattern as a result of that. The pull pattern can again be carried out like this. Okay, a similar kind of bag in that bent over position and lifted up and down. Lifted up and down. Once again, आप देखोगे कि जो मैं lift up कर रही हूँ, वो मेरे legs के बहुत करीब है, and it's my arms that are doing the job of lifting this up, and my arms that are doing the job of releasing. My back is simply holding me in that bent over position. Yeah, so these are 3 simple exercises that we would want people to do. Apart from things like walking, stair climbing, मैंने जो पहले कहा था morning walk का example दिया था. Suppose we say कि instead of doing just a morning walk, मॉर्निंग वॉक के बीच में 1 फ्लाइट ऑफ स्टेयर्स क्लाइंब करके वापस वॉक, then again 1 flight of stairs and वापस walk, या walk some distance, do 10 squats and again walk. So a whole lot of other patterns can be included in the morning walk, जिससे उसका चैलेंज धीरे 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 बढ़ाया जा सकता है. The challenge of the walk can go on increasing and the effectiveness of the walk will also go on increasing in that way. So हम मिक्स एंड मैच कर सकते हैं एक्टिविटी या मूवमेंट पैटर्न्स को टू मेक श्योर कि हमें सबसे ज्यादा बेनिफिट हो फ्रॉम व्हाटएवर टाइम दैट वी आर गिविंग इट. हम जितना भी टाइम उसे दे सकते हैं, एंड वी नो दैट अर्बन सेटअप में टाइम कम ही होता है, दैट पीपल विल नॉट हैव टू मच टाइम टू स्पेंड ऑन एक्सरसाइज, लेकिन जितना हम करें उसमें हमें सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्टिवनेस मिले. And for that we need to put in, several different types of movement and make sure that challenge बरकरार रहे उसमें. Yeah. So these were
एब्सोल्युटली
some. Yeah.
एक्सीलेंट.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
मुझे
Thank you.
लगता है हमारे सभी टीचर्स को पता था कि ये ग्लूटियस ग्रुप ऑफ मसल्स को ट्रेन करना कितना जरूरी होता है, इसीलिए वो स्कूल में काफी उठक बैठक करवाते हैं.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think both of
Yeah.
you have demonstrated just beautifully, three simple exercises that can be done at work, and then three different patterns that should be done at home, or, can be done anywhere actually, but should be done on a consistent basis. And thank you for all those small tips to, make even a simple morning walk very interesting. Mansa, I'd like to ask you, ज़्यादातर मरीज, 45, 50, 55 के जब होते हैं तो उनको लगता है कि हम जब उनको एडवाइस करते हैं कि आप एक जिम ज्वाइन कीजिए, आप एक स्ट्रक्चर्ड एक्सरसाइज प्रोग्राम ज्वाइन कीजिए, आपको बहुत बेनिफिट्स मिलेंगे, ब्लड शुगर्स में तो फायदा होगा, बट वेट में भी फायदा होगा, मसल स्ट्रांग होंगे, बाकी जो भी सब एडवांटेजेस हैं एक्सरसाइज के वो मिलेंगे. तो वो कई बार हमें ना कहते हैं कि नहीं नहीं, अभी ये एज में क्या है जिम जाना है. खासकर महिलाएं, एंड खासकर पोस्ट मेनोपॉजल महिलाएं, वो तो समझती हैं कि जिम अभी कौन जाएगा, वो नए कपड़े लेंगे या वो पैंट्स कौन पहनेगा, फिर वो शूज कौन पहनेगा. तो बहुत ज्यादा रेजिस्टेंस होता है टू गो टू द जिम और इवन एंगेज इन मसल ट्रेनिंग. सो आप उनके लिए क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
अभी एक वर्कआउट करने के लिए इंटरेस्ट नहीं रहते लोगों को, एंड हम बोलेंगे कि आप जिम जाइए तो बिल्कुल ही इंटरेस्ट नहीं रहेगा, क्योंकि उनको आदत नहीं है, एंड वी हैव नॉट स्टडीड द पर्सन, व्हाट अ पर्सन प्रिफर्स एंड चूजेस. आपको ये तो आपको बोलना पड़ेगा, आप स्लाइटली वॉकिंग स्टार्ट कीजिए, एंड आपको क्या पसंद है वो ज्यादा करना है. अगर आपको फैमिली के साथ, जैसे कि आपको लॉन्ग वॉक्स पे जाना है, इंक्लूड दैट, एंड वीकेंड्स पे क्या कर सकते हैं. सो स्लाइट चेंजेस इन देयर नॉर्मल लाइफस्टाइल टू ब्रिंग लिटिल बिट ऑफ get moving, get on the active mode. So slightly we will come into that picture. So how to make them a little more active. And अगर उनको जिम पसंद नहीं है तो हमको फोर्स नहीं करना पड़ेगा. We should not force them. You can tell them, if you're not a gym person, you can always do something which is a yoga, something which is a group activity class. And उनको ज्यादा कार्डियो भी नहीं करना है. They have to do strength training. They have to do a little bit of yoga. They will all had a little bit of mixed workout, which they will enjoy. Enjoyment is more needed, and feeling good with the workout routine is very, very important. So if a person is not a gym person, you have to check what they like basically. And based on what they like, we have to prescribe a workout routine.
That's true. तो आपने बहुत अच्छी तरह समझाया वो. But I think the reason why we sometimes just say gymnasium and we don't tell them otherwise, because एक वो थोड़ा वो sense of security होती है कि वहाँ instructors बराबर से posture देखेंगे, उनको समझाएंगे कि किस तरह करना है. So yes, that is one sense of security that physicians often have, कि वो उन्हें gym direct करेंगे तो शायद अच्छी तरह muscle training भी हो पाएगी, और they will go in a guided manner. But yes, you are absolutely right. They should take up an activity. If they are not doing anything, they should take up an activity that that interests them, that will keep them motivated, because the first rule was consistency, and then it was challenge. So yes, but I'll invite some thoughts from Ruchira also on the same, because for bone health we definitely want women to pick up the weights and do them post in the 40s also. We feel that it's just going to bulk them up, or they have a lot of myths around it. So if you can just clarify that to our audience.
Sure. So, when we are talking about postmenopausal women, I am in a perimenopausal age group myself, so I'm first hand experiencing a lot of the जो effects होते हैं in terms of certain bodily changes coming in, etc. वो मैं first hand experience कर रही हूँ, and we have a lot of clients here, a lot of patients here who are between the ages of 40 and 60, who are coming and exercising. Or trust me, there is no better age to start looking after yourself, because by now बच्चे बड़े हो चुके हैं, and you finally have that time for yourself. And the one thing that Mansa said, which was absolutely correct, is that strength training and muscular health deserves its due. उस पे हमें focus करना ही चाहिए, because it's one of the best ways to improve the capacity of the body without actually spending too much time on it. If the same amount of caloric burn or the same amount of efficiency was to be got with simple exercise like walking, तो मुझे घंटों चलना पड़ता to get that same kind of effect. And lifting weights is essential for us, because जो muscle का function था about maintaining blood glucose, its ability to maintain blood glucose by taking it in, that is best carried out actually with strength training. Purvi, I was just revisiting some of the old textbooks that we had 15 साल पहले, 20 साल पहले, when I was teaching this topic, and I was, talking about exercise physiology and glucose tolerance. It was, it was always, the correlation was always between cardio and blood glucose control. That was because we
Absolutely.
found there were no studies done on strength training and blood glucose control.
I was
So
just going to say
obviously,
that
yeah,
it's very recent that that even the importance for bone health has come up in the last few
yeah,
years. We
yeah.
have to tell our patients that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's the whole picture, and strength training, I would say, is a great thing for women to pick up. हम jokingly कहते हैं, but maybe it's true as well, कि घर के काम अगर देखे जाए तो women really need that extra strength as compared to the men. It's the women who are actually pushing and pulling weight around more often, and sometimes to greater extents. So वो strength अच्छे use को हम put करते हैं. We put that strength to good use, and particularly the perimenopausal, postmenopausal age group is one where women should strength train, must strength train for both musculoskeletal as well as metabolic benefits. The effect on bone health, of course, is fabulous.
Great, excellent, and thank you both for encouraging our female viewers also to take up muscle training and dispel some of the myths around it. So before we come to the end, मनसा मैं चाहूंगी कि आप और रुचिरा दोनों टर्न बाय टर्न हमारे जो एल्डरली व्यूअर्स हैं उनके लिए थोड़ी एक्सरसाइजेस दिखाएं जो कि मे बी दे फाइंड इट डिफिकल्ट टू कंप्लीट वॉक्स और go to the gardens and walk that much or go on the uh, amidst the traffic to go out on the road and walk. But can you, if you can demonstrate just very simple things for them, I think that will be just few stretches. They may have a lot of knee pain or back pain. If you can help us with that.
Yeah, sure. So, if it is an elderly patient we are focusing on, and the person is just really getting to start to do some physical movement, we will shoot for them. But if a person is really active, I think they can do most of the moderate, mild to moderate exercises. But if it is a beginner, just a beginner, the elderly person is just a beginner, I will show you. If they are able to have a chair support is really good, because we sit long hours at the chair पे बैठ के बहुत टाइम निकालते हैं और टीवी पे बैठे, सो उनको थोड़ा सपोर्ट के लिए कुछ ना कुछ रहना पड़ेगा, उनको फ्रीली ऐसा मूवमेंट, there are chances of having a giddiness, they will have any chances, so always any support should be there. A nice workout that you can have a chair support. Just getting this. Yeah, एक chair support तो रहना पड़ेगा. Then they want to just start with the upper body. ऐसा, this is very good to do this. जैसे कि they, you raise the heel raises and stay on your tippy toes. This is very good. If they want to add the arms also, this is good, because I would like to see that they are actually getting here to do it and feeling good. So they need to take some support because वो लोग बुजुर्ग लोग हैं, so it is good. And then you want to keep it to the sides, doing a bend because उनका back spine is you should keep your spine healthy. आपका spine healthy होना है और flexibility in the spine always incorporate. जैसे कि forward bend or back extensions. So focus on just gently getting the back. ऐसे करना है, इसे light back extensions करना है हमको. Have the chair support and do encourage them to get their back strengthening. This is the back strengthening and do a forward bend to keep the legs a little wider, not very close, and to do a back flexibility. So doing this forward bend, and just coming, doing a forward bend and just coming straight. ये भी exercise include कर सकते हैं. And the last one, what I just want to give is to just see if they're doing a close squat, not a wide, not a hip squat or a close squat, just a straight squat and have support with the chair and just do a squat because it strengthens your knees, it strengthens the legs, focusing on strengthening and flexibility, not much in the cardio section. And just do a close squat. Because it doesn't stress the knees. The close squat doesn't stress the knees. Or there is also called as a plie squat, which becomes like a opening up to the side, the toes. This is the plie squat, which will actually strengthen your knees and also the hip and the back. So these three exercises for elderly people, I can recommend.
Brilliant. I hope all the elderly watching this show are going to try this at home one at a time, small steps, but take them so that we can get somewhere in the near future. Ruchira, your turn.
Yeah, so Mansa has shown such wonderful moves that will help to strengthen. मैं कुछ छोटा सा कार्डियो के लिए बताऊंगी, something fun, something cute, and something which all my oldies do regularly, right? So बहुत simple है. Let me just turn the camera a little down if possible, so that. Okay, I hope this is visible. All right, guys. Now, the first, my head may not be visible, but you all need to look at my feet. So I'm going to show something really simple. So the first one is called quick feet, which means you're in this ready position and you're only lifting up the heels, not even the toes, but just lifting up the heels. And one can go as quick as one wants. Okay? So it can be really quick as well. One doesn't need to bend too much. It can just be a small amount of bend that is there, right? So this is the quick feet. Now, quick feet for 30 seconds. The next move that we're looking at is known as the arm swing. So we're in this very athletic position, can be with a wide base also, agar kisi ka balance pura ho to. And all that you're doing is swinging the arms. Yeah, nothing else is happening, just this slight bend that is there in the position, and there's a swinging of the arms that is taking place at whatever pace that is comfortable for the patient to carry out. So quick feet, jahan pe arms nahi hai, sirf the legs are going. Arm swing, jahan pe legs nahi hai, sirf the arms are going. And a third move, which is simply going to be an alternate tap. Right now, this may or may not be comfortable for everybody. Agar balance acha ho, so then they're able to carry it out. If the balance is not so good, if it's compromised, तो वो एक हाथ support के लिए रख के, they can just carry it out on one side and then supporting the other hand on the other side. Now, just these three simple movements, each one carried out for about 30 seconds with a 15 to 20 second break. Then again 30 seconds of the next movement, 15 to 20 seconds break. Again 30 seconds of the third movement, 15 to 20 seconds break. और ऐसे 2 बार, 3 बार या 4 बार, they can go on adding. शायद हो सकता हो that for people who are just starting out, they're able to repeat it only twice or thrice. But जैसे उनकी capacity बढ़ेगी, वो rounds जो करेंगे बढ़ते जाएंगे. And this is relatively safe to carry out. There's no impact on the joints of any kind. It helps coordination It actually has a small amount of benefit when it comes to brain health as well. So something that we encourage, very senior people who may be a little deconditioned to start doing, because it's a great way to put in small amounts of cardio. So,
My God, this was absolutely brilliant. I can't even begin to tell you, Mansa and Ruchira, how much you have been inspiring. Sitting here, I'm just, so uneasy. I want to get up and move myself. So I think this has been one of the best episodes ever on RSSDI Diabetes Bytes. And Faraz and I have to thank you both profusely for just being so sportive and just demonstrating everything live, and also very simply explaining for our audience, just adding that zing to exercise or the fun with fitness, because when it comes to exercise, not everybody is really encouraged or very happy about that prescription.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I think I would just say that the best exercise is one that gets done in my own simple way. But
absolutely.
I would like to extend our thanks from the RSSDI National President, Dr. Vasant Kumar, Secretary, Dr. Sanjay Agrawal, Sir, and the entire executive committee, as well as the RSSDI social media cell. I think this has been riveting, very interesting session, and we will definitely bug you more for videos and demonstrations for our people living with diabetes, and you can definitely help us make their lives better and improve the quality of their life. So, thank you once again for the effort for this inspirational episode, and lots of tips and exercise uh, tips and the precautions that you talked about. Once again,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
Us too.